Good morning to our viewers around the globe, and welcome to a special breaking news bulletin covering the latest developments in women's professional tennis. I am your host, bringing you live coverage of an unfolding narrative that has completely dominated the digital sphere, set the tennis community ablaze, and quite frankly, sent a seismic tremor through the typically poised and polished atmosphere of the Qatar Total Energies Open. We are currently counting down the final hours before the official commencement of main draw action at the magnificent Khalifa International Tennis and Squash Complex right here in Doha. The pristine hard courts are prepared, the stadium lights are illuminating the venue, and the absolute finest female athletes on earth are present. Defending champions and superstars like Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, and Elena Rybakina are all currently in the city. However, tonight the conversation has nothing to do with forehand techniques. No one is analyzing first serve statistics. In fact, nobody is even discussing the tournament roadmap or the draw bracket that was released to the public earlier today. Tonight, the collective gaze of the tennis world is fixated on a singular jaw-dropping event that transpired less than 60 minutes ago. It is a moment that has effectively shattered the digital infrastructure in the Philippines, causing an absolute frenzy online. It is trending at #1 worldwide on the X platform and has left the gathered international press corps in Doha completely speechless. The headline is simple: Alexandra Eala has arrived. But to say she simply arrived would be an understatement. She did not merely walk through the sliding glass doors of Hamad International Airport and quietly disappear into a waiting transport vehicle. No, what we just witnessed was a grand entrance, a definitive statement and a declaration of intent that has fundamentally transformed the annual All Players Party, usually a fun, lighthearted social gala before the grit of the tournament begins, into the absolute epicenter of the sporting universe. We have just received official confirmation that Alexandra Eala, the 20-year-old Filipino phenomenon currently sitting at a career-high ranking of world number 45, went direct, and I mean straight from the tarmac to the party. However, it is the manner in which she executed this arrival that has left observers reeling. Let us set the stage for you. The Qatar Open Players Party is legendary for its opulence. It is the one night where athletic wear is swapped for haute couture and fierce competitors mingle beneath the Arabian stars. Typically, players arrive in organized waves. They have ample time to prepare in their hotel suites. They have dedicated teams of stylists and makeup artists. Eala, however, had a flight coming in from her training block that was reportedly significantly delayed. She touched down on the runway just moments before the red carpet was scheduled to close for the evening. Most pundits, myself included, assumed she would bypass the gala entirely. The consensus was that she would head straight to her hotel to rest, recover, and mentally prepare for her opening round match. We could not have been more wrong. At approximately 8:15 p.m. local time, a black luxury sedan pulled up to the velvet ropes. The whispers among the crowd began immediately. Who was inside? Was it the returning champion Amanda Anisimova? Was it a surprise appearance by a local royal or dignitary? The rear door opened and out stepped Alexandra. She was not wearing travel sweats nor a tracksuit, but an ensemble that can only be described as a complete showstopper. The shock here is not a scandal. Let me be perfectly clear. The shock is the sheer magnitude of her star power on display. This is a young woman whom for years we have viewed as the promising junior, the graduate of the Rafa Nadal Academy. We saw her as the future of Asian tennis. Tonight, however, the future has officially arrived. She stepped out in a breathtaking floor-length gown that seemed to shimmer with the pearlescent colors of the Philippine archipelago, a perfect fusion of modern Doha luxury and deep respectful heritage. The press pit, which is usually a chaotic cacophony of shouting photographers, went silent for a split second before the camera flashes erupted like a sudden lightning storm. Why is this going viral? Why is the word shocked being utilized by veteran journalists on the ground? Because this was not simply a tennis player attending a party. This was the arrival of a superstar. It signaled a massive paradigm shift. We are witnessing the real-time transition of Alexandra Eala from a tennis prospect into a bona fide global icon right before our very eyes. The confidence, the poise, and the way she commanded that carpet despite coming straight off a grueling long-haul flight is extraordinary. It speaks to a level of mental fortitude and natural charisma that simply cannot be taught. Social media platforms are currently in a total meltdown. I am looking at the live feeds right now. The hashtag Eala Qatar is trending in Manila, Doha, London, and New York. Fans are dissecting every single angle of the footage. The video clip of her stepping out of the car has amassed 3 million views in just 45 minutes. 3 million views. This is significantly bigger than the draw ceremony. This is bigger than the practice schedules. This is the moment Alexandra Eala announced to the WTA Tour that the year 2026 is not just another season on the calendar, it is her year. Let us dig a little deeper into exactly why this specific arrival is causing such a massive stir. You have to understand the context of the 2026 season. We are currently in February, the Australian Open is behind us. The tour is grinding its way into the Middle East swing, which is notoriously grueling for the athletes. Players are exhausted, the novelty and excitement of a new season have largely worn off. The glamour factor usually takes a significant dip around this time as players hyper-focus on ranking points and survival. For Eala to inject this level of high-octane glamour and energy into the Doha kickoff is exactly what the tour desperately needed, but it is also a massive disruption to the status quo. The Qatar Open has historically been the playground of established European and American powerhouses. Names like Swiatek, Sabalenka, and Kvitova usually dominate the headlines. The narrative is almost exclusively about them. But tonight, that script has been flipped and a new protagonist has taken center stage in the desert. Tonight, the entire conversation shifted. We are not talking about serves or volleys. Instead, a 20-year-old prodigy from Quezon City completely hijacked the narrative without hitting a single tennis ball. We are receiving reports from insiders right now, and we will break this down fully in our deep dive analysis shortly that the atmosphere in that ballroom transformed the second she walked through the doors. Think about the caliber of people in that room. You have the top 10 players on the planet's seasoned veterans and multiple Grand Slam champions, yet every single head turned to look at Eala. It feels like a subtle psychological strike, perhaps a signal that she is no longer just happy to be here accepting a wild card. She belongs here. She owns the stage now. Part of the shockwave comes from the sheer impossibility of the timeline. Our sources on the ground at the airport confirmed her flight touched down less than 50 minutes before her arrival at the party. 50 minutes. That is all she had to clear customs, navigate through the terminal's secure transport, and somehow arrive looking absolutely flawless. It honestly defies the laws of travel physics and adds a layer of mystery to the whole evening. Did she get ready on the jet? You have to wonder, is this a brilliant, carefully orchestrated public relations masterstroke by her management team? Or are we just seeing the natural, effortless radiance of a Gen Z superstar who has mastered the art of social media? There is already a video clip tearing through the internet, going absolutely viral as we speak. You might have already scrolled past it. It shows her walking right past a massive trophy display case. She does not stop to take a selfie with it. She does not stare at it with wide-eyed wonder. Instead, she just shoots it a quick side glance, offers a tiny knowing smile, and keeps on strutting. That split-second interaction is currently being dissected by body language experts all over Twitter. They have already coined a term for it, the claiming glance. The online tennis community is already convinced she is destined to lift the trophy based entirely on that one look. It is pure hysteria out there. But let us be honest, that is exactly the kind of hype that builds sporting legends. And we absolutely cannot overlook the massive Filipino community right here in Qatar. We know Doha hosts a vibrant, passionate population of overseas Filipino workers. As soon as the news broke that Eala was landing, there were reports of fans swarming the airport. However, security executed a direct-to-party maneuver, whisking her away instantly. Consequently, all those devoted fans who missed their chance to see her at the arrivals hall have taken their energy online. They are now flooding every digital space, boosting this viral moment into the stratosphere. The sense of national pride is simply palpable. To them, this is not just a tennis player wearing a nice dress. This is national representation on a global luxury stage. It is a statement. So here is the situation on the ground. The Qatar Total Energies Open 2026 has officially kicked off, not with an ace down the tee, but with a runway strut. Alexandra Eala has effectively thrown down the gauntlet, but as we all know too well, a viral video moment does not win you tennis matches. A stunning evening gown offers zero protection against an Iga Swiatek forehand or a thunderous Elena Rybakina serve. The burning question on everyone's mind now is, can she back this swagger up? Is this newfound confidence and star power a signal that her actual tennis game has leveled up to the same height? We definitely saw flashes of brilliance in Auckland earlier this year. We saw that grit during the Australian Open first round, even though it ended in a loss. But make no mistake, Doha is a WTA 1000 event. The field is absolutely stacked with talent. There are no easy draws here. However, if she steps onto the court with the same boldness she displayed on the red carpet tonight, we might just be witnessing the breakout tournament of the decade. The shock value of her arrival is just the hook to get us interested. The real story is about to unfold on the hard courts of the Khalifa complex. The deep dive we are about to undertake is designed to separate the social media hype from the cold, hard reality. We are going to crunch the numbers. We are going to meticulously examine the draw and potential matchups. We are going to analyze exactly why 2026 is the critical turning point for Eala, and why this viral entrance might actually represent the most significant psychological shift of her entire career. Stay tuned. So go ahead, grab your coffee or get your popcorn ready. We are about to dissect the Alexandra Eala phenomenon, the Doha draw, and the future of Asian tennis in a way that nobody else is doing. That viral moment, that was merely the appetizer. The main course is being served right now. Let us take a step back from the flashing strobe lights of the Doha red carpet and ground ourselves in the reality of how we arrived at this moment. To truly appreciate why tonight's grand entrance is so shocking, you have to understand the long journey of Alexandra Eala. This is far from an overnight success story. Despite what the trending tweets might suggest, this is a narrative built on calculated, grueling, and methodical progression over years. We need to rewind to 2020, the year the pandemic changed everything. A 14-year-old Eala wins the Australian Open junior doubles title. We knew right then and there that she was something special. She was a lefty, a trait that immediately drew heavy comparisons to her idol and mentor Rafael Nadal. She possessed that whip-cracking forehand and a court sense that was mature far beyond her age. But as many know, the transition from juniors to the professional tour is often where dreams go to die. We have watched countless junior champions fade into obscurity, unable to handle the intense physicality and the mental grind of the ITF and WTA tours. Eala did not fade. She fought back. Think about her 2025 season. That was truly the year of the grind. She was down in the trenches playing ITFW 100 events, chasing ranking points in places like Vitoria-Gasteiz and Pune. She was building her physique and reworking that serve, which, let's be honest, was a liability in her early years. The Rafa Nadal Academy in Manacor was not just a training ground for her, it was a forge. She was tempered in that fire. By the time 2026 rolled around, we were looking at a completely different player. 2026 is the breakthrough. We all remember the buzz around the Miami Open, the wildcard entry, and the heavy skepticism surrounding it. She is too small, they said. She will get pushed around by the power hitters. And how did she respond? She silenced them all. She made the semifinals and took down major champions along the way. That right there was the definitive moment the tennis world woke up and realized she isn't just some promising prospect from the Philippines anymore. She is a legitimate full-blown threat to the WTA Tour. Cracking the top 50 back in late 2025 was the validation of 5 years of grinding, but look at the calendar now. It is February 2026, she is 20 years old, and she is sitting pretty at world number 45. Let me tell you, that specific ranking makes her incredibly dangerous. Why? Because she sits in that sweet spot where she is no longer the lovable underdog that top seeds can overlook, yet she isn't a protected seed herself. She is the unseeded landmine in the draw that absolutely nobody wants to see next to their name. She is the ultimate trap game of potential banana skin for giants like Iga Swiatek or Coco Gauff. Her viral arrival tonight signifies she is shedding her junior skin right before our eyes. For years, we have known Eala as the humble, quiet worker with her head down. Her standard answer in every interview used to be, "I just want to learn." Tonight, that body language completely flipped. The message broadcasting loud and clear was, "I am here to win." In the mental game of women's tennis, that psychological shift is everything. Confidence is 80% of the battle in this sport. Just look at Emma Raducanu's run in New York or Bianca Andreescu back in 2019. Those runs were fueled by pure, unadulterated belief. If Alex truly believes she is the queen of the ball exactly as she looked walking into that party, she becomes infinitely more lethal the moment she steps onto the court. We also need to discuss how her evolved game style matches up with this specific tournament, the Qatar Open. The hard courts in Doha are tricky. They can be gritty and surprisingly slow, especially when that cool evening desert air settles in. But honestly, that suits her game perfectly. She isn't a one-dimensional flat hitter who relies on a lightning-fast surface to blow people away. She is a tactician. She constructs points using heavy spin and sharp angles. She knows how to open up the court. Watch out for her lefty serve out wide on the ad court. That is going to be a massive weapon for her all week. The shockwaves we are seeing on social media aren't just about the dress. They are a reaction to her physical transformation. If you zoom in on those photos from the party, yes, the gown is stunning, but look at the muscle definition in her shoulders. Look at that posture. She clearly put in a massive off-season block. Leaks from her training camp suggest she focused heavily on explosive movement and building serious core strength. This 2026 version of Eala is engineered to go the distance she is built to last 3 grueling sets against power hitters like Aryna Sabalenka or Elena Rybakina. She is no longer the teenager who fades after an hour of heavy hitting. We are looking at an athlete entering her prime. Now I want to pivot to a detail that casual fans might not fully appreciate. The strategic significance of the All Players Party. To the outsider, it looks like a frivolous distraction. It looks like just a bunch of rich athletes sipping mocktails and taking selfies. But make no mistake, inside the tour bubble, this is a battlefield. The WTA Tour is a traveling circus. These women see the same faces every single week, all year round. The tension in that locker room is very real. The Players' Party is technically neutral ground, but it is really the place where the social pecking order gets stamped and sealed. The top seeds command the best tables. The rising stars fight for the media attention. By arriving late, coming straight from the tarmac, and looking that spectacular, Eala disrupted the entire social hierarchy. That is a total power move. Whether she intended it or not, she forced the other players to talk about her. She forced the media to center the narrative on her. In a sport that is so intensely individual, taking up space is part of the intimidation factor. Think about Maria Sharapova. She was the undisputed master of this. Maria would arrive at parties looking immaculate, unbothered, and superior, and you better believe that aura translated directly to the coin toss. Opponents felt like they were playing against a larger-than-life figure before a ball was even hit. Serena Williams did it with fashion. Naomi Osaka does it. Alex Eala is now stepping into that lineage. She is telling the entire locker room, I have the spotlight now. The Qatar Open Party is specifically legendary for its extravagance. Doha spares no expense to showcase itself as a luxury destination. The organizers absolutely love it when a player goes viral because it puts the tournament on the map for people who don't even follow tennis scores. The tournament director is likely ecstatic right now. A viral Eala clip is worth millions in free marketing value. It brings in a demographic that tennis is desperate to capture the Gen Z digital native audience across Asia. And let's not forget the direct from airport aspect. That is the stuff of rockstar legends. It implies a busy schedule, high demand, and a jet-set lifestyle. It says, I was so busy being a star elsewhere, I barely made it. It creates an aura of importance. If she had been in Doha for 3 days practicing quietly, the arrival would have been nice, but predictable. The rush, the timing, the execution, it adds drama, and at the end of the day, sport is theater. However, we must ground this excitement in the brutal reality of the draw. The Qatar Total Energies Open is a WTA 1000 event. It is one of the pillars of the season. The ranking points on offer here are absolutely massive. A deep run here could catapult her from rank 45 straight into the top 30, which would seed her for the French Open. That is the ultimate goal. Let's analyze the field she is facing. Aryna Sabalenka has pulled out, which blows the draw wide open. Sabalenka's power on these courts was always suffocating. With her gone, the top half of the draw becomes a scramble. But Iga Swiatek is here. The Pole absolutely loves playing in Doha. She has lifted the trophy here multiple times. She is the ultimate test. If Eala is the viral queen of the night, Swiatek is the undisputed queen of this court. A potential matchup between Eala and Swiatek would be a fascinating clash of styles. You have Swiatek's heavy topspin and relentless movement versus Eala's crafty lefty angles and newfound aggression. Then you have Elena Rybakina, the other titan. Her serve is the biggest hurdle. For a player of Eala's height, 1.75 meters beating Rybakina means she needs to be absolutely perfect on her return game. That viral entrance didn't just turn heads, it painted a massive bullseye right on Eala's back. You know how the locker room works, the underdogs are drooling for a chance to clip her wings. Meanwhile, the top seeds are sharpening their knives, eager to remind everyone that millions of views on social media don't count for a single point on the scoreboard. We are glued to the schedule waiting for the order of play to drop because her opening round has officially become the marquee event of the tournament, and the crushing weight of expectation is the ultimate X factor. The real question is, can she tune out the static blowing up online is the easy part. It is an entirely different beast to put down your phone after seeing 50,000 notifications, manage to get a decent 6 hours of sleep, and then wake up ready to go to war against a relentless grinder like Elise Mertens or Sorana Cirstea. This is the crucible where contenders are forged into champions. We witnessed Emma Raducanu buckle under that intense spotlight initially, while Coco Gauff learned to harness it, and Alex Eala is standing right at that same precipice today. We simply cannot wrap up this deep dive without addressing the elephant in the room, the absolute cultural tidal wave that is the Filipino fan base. The headlines might say she shocked Qatar, but the reality is she has the entire Philippines in full-blown celebration mode. Everyone knows the Philippines worships at the altar of basketball, but that is changing fast. Almost single-handedly, Alex Eala has bulldozed a lane for tennis into the national psyche, and when she steps into a venue, she carries that distinct Bayanihan spirit right here to Doha. It is going to be deafening this week because the roar for Eala in the stands will rival or even eclipse the support for the local Qatari wildcards. That viral moment was a love letter to her fans, a tangible validation of their loyalty that proves their girl has officially arrived. It confirms she is a global superstar, a source of immense national pride, but we have to be honest, that adds a heavy coat to wear. She is shouldering the dreams of a nation that is absolutely starving for international sporting glory. History has given us Asian giants like Lina Naomi Osaka and Kei Nishikori, but Southeast Asia has largely been waiting in the wings. Eala is the torchbearer, changing that narrative for the entire ASEAN region. A deep run here in Doha could trigger a massive tennis boom across the Philippines, Indonesia, and Thailand, and the industry knows it. Make no mistake, the organizers and the WTA understand the stakes, which is exactly why the cameras were rolling the second her car pulled up. They recognize that Eala is the golden key to unlocking a colossal market, so that Arrival wasn't just a party entrance. It was a masterclass in sports marketing, and she executed it to absolute perfection as we wrap up this extended breaking news coverage. Let's take a collective breath. The gala dresses are going back on the hangers, and the red carpet is being rolled away. The paparazzi are packing up their gear and heading to the press room because come tomorrow morning the sun will rise over the stunning West Bay skyline. The heat will be shimmering off the blue hardcourts at the Khalifa complex, and Alex Eala goes back to being one of 64 players trying to smack a yellow ball over a net. Or is she? There is an undeniable shift in the atmosphere tonight. By announcing her presence with such dramatic flair, Alex Eala has declared she is ready for the major leagues. She has successfully blurred the line between athlete and cultural icon, forcing the entire tennis world to sit up and take notice. But now comes the hard part. Now comes the sweat, the grit, and the grind. She needs to translate that shock value from the red carpet into shock upsets on the court. We need to see that same main character energy and ferocity when she is staring down a breakpoint in the deciding set. The Qatar Open 2026 is officially live, and the narrative is set. Iga Swiatek remains the heavy favorite, and Elena Rybakina is the lethal challenger. But make no mistake, Alex Eala is the story everyone is talking about. To everyone watching from Manila, Cebu, Davao, and the millions of tennis fanatics around the globe, do not blink because this tournament is shaping up to be legendary. When you see Eala's name light up on that scoreboard, drop everything and watch. If tonight was a preview, she isn't just here to hand out towels. She is here to steal the show, and I am your host signing off from our global headquarters. The party is officially over, let the tennis begin.